will act independently. It will openly conduct actual air operations against Russia. This is NATO's direct entry into the war. This must be fundamentally understood. The next moment is very revealing and interesting. But, in principle, we must launch a nuclear strike on Sweden, based on our nuclear doctrine. Well, for now we won't talk about a nuclear strike. For one simple reason, we have already warned. The F-16s were designed to carry, among other things, nuclear weapons. Well, there is a whole list of countries that supply weapons, and Sweden is not the most important there. Only Holland plans to supply 27 F-16 aircraft. Well, so, the main thing is different. Against this background, the United States of America strictly distances itself from granting the right to use its long-range weapons. We are talking about ATACMS systems. What does this mean? This means that the Americans are pushing Europe to war, turning Europe into a theater of war. But the Americans themselves are distancing themselves from this. What else is this significant about? Management of the group in the German center, where Zelensky's actions regarding Ukraine are coordinated, is transferred from the United States to NATO. The United States is also leaving there. It is absolutely clear that the United States dictates the will of NATO, and the US withdrawal from this position says one thing. The United States is preparing to implement a conflict between Europe and Russia. They themselves distance themselves from this, and within the framework of this conflict, it is quite natural that they assume that the option will be implemented like this called limited nuclear war. The essence of a limited war is that the United States of America and Russia do not touch the territories of their countries, since touching the territory of these countries with nuclear weapons means that a general nuclear war begins, that is, a complete nuclear missile exchange begins between Russia and the United States. China and everything else are small compared to our nuclear potential. And the territory of third countries is a completely legitimate theater of military operations. And here I would like to remind you again that I have spoken about this many times. What did our president say about small territories? In a nuclear war, neither morale, nor economic potential, nor demography, nor the beauty of nature, nor anything matters. Only two factors matter: the area of the territory and the number of warheads. For example, let's take Poland as the closest NATO country to us. This is the most realistic candidate for being a small, limited theater of nuclear war. Are there 20 major cities there? Hardly. Even if we calculate that we need to allocate 2 warheads for each city, this is only 30 to 40 warheads. What is 30 warheads? This is just a salvo of 1 division of Iskander missiles. 16 launchers, each of them has 2 warheads. If they are nuclear, that's 32 pieces. Flight time is from 5 to 6 minutes. Preparation of flight missions, which are prepared on site, takes 3 minutes. It will take 5 minutes to deploy. In 10 to 15 minutes, Poland as a state, and the Poles as a people, will disappear from the face of the earth along with their language. This is something Europeans should understand very well. Therefore, I now urge once again the European peoples to think hard about what they are doing. Now, there is one more question. Our Voronezh M radar station in Armavir, which kept the southwestern strategic direction under control, was attacked. According to Article 18, Paragraph 3, based on state policy in the field of nuclear deterrence, the defeat of such objects is grounds for the use of nuclear weapons. Well, of course, now we won't talk about nuclear weapons, because that's really scary. Because if we go for it, we must not forget that they will also respond. The same French, they have 190 nuclear warheads, and even if we shoot down half of them, then 90 or 95 nuclear explosions in our country is not small. We will talk about this. So, how can we respond? Firstly, there was information that it was a large 5-meter British-made drone. I heard that it is made in Portugal. British Portuguese, one way or another. The control of this drone and the preparation of the flight mission were carried out by the relevant NATO employees. And from here you need to do the following. Assemble an international commission with the participation of China and India. Within 2 or 3 days, make a conclusion for this commission that this is a drone made in Britain. And on this basis we must conclude that it was a blow. It was aggression on the part of Britain and Portugal. Well, Portugal, God bless it, the main one there is Britain. After this, on the basis of this commission, a statement must be made to the UN that Great Britain carried out an act of military aggression against Russia. And Russia has the right to respond to this adequately. Further, on completely legal grounds, using conventional military equipment, H-101 missiles, as you like, or caliber missiles, strike some key targets in Great Britain, and hit it so hard that it hurts. Well, for example, for some objects located near the Palace of Westminster, well, half a ton of warhead would be nice. These are such demonstrative slaps in the face. And then see what they will do. I dare to assure that after all this they will think hard. But now our president is acting very wisely. He is doing everything in his power to stop this damn spiral of war, in order to avoid a collision with NATO. Because if this happens, then in 1 or 2 weeks we will move to the nuclear phase. And Ukraine is our native land. It should not burn. Poland can burn, and so on. And Ukraine is our land. It should not be subjected to nuclear strikes, even if the Nazis are now temporarily ruling there. So this will help cool their heads, because, of course, I want to say, I observe how our president acts, how carefully military operations are conducted at the front, so as not to be provoked. These are very talented actions. Literally, as the great Ivan Yefremov said, our president acts while balancing on the edge of a razor blade. Exactly.